Hey everybody, are you tired of Windows 10? Like that one back there, Windows 11, Windows 7, all the problems that we're having with Microsoft, all the cost involved with having Windows, all the data that we're giving back to everybody else? Do you want something that's private, easy to use, easy to configure, and just works? Well, I'm going to show you the Linux operating system today. And in fact, Linux Mint 22 is the distribution I want to show you. It is probably one of the best distributions of Linux if you're going to move away from Windows. I want to show it to you today. I want to show you how to install it. I'm going to install it on my desktop PC, and we're going to get rid of Windows. Except for that one back there, I've got to use that for my daily driver, daily work, say it that way. But anyway, let's do this. Hey everybody, Scott Burnett here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Alright, Linux Mint 22. Now let's discuss this for just a second. So you have distributions of Linux, which is it's the Linux kernel with different front ends. Let's say it that way, front ends and back ends. You have Linux Mint, you have Fedora, Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Rocky, Arch. There's just hundreds and hundreds of different distributions of Linux. But the one we're going to do is Linux Mint because it is the easiest to come from Windows to Linux to learn it. There is a learning curve, but there are tons of applications that you can use to get away from Windows. So anyway, what we're going to need a USB drive, 8 gigabytes or larger. If you have a second computer, it'd be nice to have that. Back up your files from your Windows 10 or Windows 11 just in case there's something you need, your license key, a document of some sort, or anything else that you have, an active internet connection. And it will delete everything. When we do this, it will delete everything on your USB drive and your desktop or laptop. Now there are ways that you can dual boot where you can have Windows on it and have Linux too, so you can just pick from a menu when you boot up. We're not going to do that. We're just going to get rid of Windows 11 altogether. So anyway, let's get started. Should take about 30 minutes or so, Alright, we're going to open up a web browser, and we're going to go to linuxmint.com. And they have a neat website. We're going to go to the download link right here. And we can do the installation instructions, but we're going to talk about this for a second. You have the Cinnamon edition, which is for normal computers and laptops. It's they have the most features with this edition. You have the XFCE edition, which is very lightweight, would be for like Raspberry Pi, an older computer, a small laptop. And then you have the Mate edition. It's a very old desktop, but it still works very well. We're going to go to the Cinnamon edition and we're going to hit download. They give you the size, the installation guide, release notes. You can go to a torrent download or you can go to a mirror download, which is just the download site that you want to go to. Depending where you are in the world, there's a different mirror location for each country, I guess you'd say. I'm going to grab this one right here, the GigNet. And we're going to download it. Depending on your connection, it may take 2 minutes, it may take 20 minutes. It just depends on your connection. But we'll come back when it gets finished. Alright, it's finished downloading. See it right there? It's 2.91 gigabytes. I did it twice. So we need a program now to burn it on to the USB drive, add it to the USB drive. So the one I like is Balena Etcher. So we're going to go to it, Balena Etcher.io. Etcher.balena.io. Links for all this will be in the description along with a set of steps. And what you do, you download this and it works Windows or Mac. And if you scroll down to the bottom, it has an image for Linux as well, if you're already using Linux. But we're going to download it for here. I already have it on this computer. So Balena Etcher. So let's go ahead and plug our drive in to my computer. I'm doing this on Mac, but same deal. So we're going to go to my applications. We'll go up here to Balena Etcher. Pull it over here. We're going to flash from file. Go to my downloads and we're going to go and find the Linux Mint 22 ISO. We're going to select the target. It's my 32 gig SanDisk, and we're going to select, and all we do is hit flash. Super secret password, and it'll start. So it should take just a couple of minutes to do this, and we'll come right back. Okay, that finished up. Took a couple of minutes. We're going to hit eject. Always eject your USB drives. And there is our installer for Linux Mint. So I'm going to put it over into my Windows desktop USB port. Okay, so you can see that I am not kidding. I have Windows 11 right here. And this is a full desktop. This is my machine. So what we're going to do, we're going to restart this thing. Now when you restart your computer, to boot off the USB drive, and we'll make sure that the USB drive is in there. Let me double check and make sure. Yep, there's my USB drive. Okay. So you'll either hit F1, F2, F10, F11, F12, or delete to pull up a boot menu so you can boot to your computer. So mine is F11 right here. If you have a Dell, it'd be F12, and HP it'd be F2, I think. But let's go ahead and we'll restart this thing and get it to the boot menu. Whenever it gets finished there, I'll go and start hitting F11. Okay, there's my boot menu. So I can either boot back into Windows, or I can go to my SanDisk drive. Right there. Hit enter and it'll pull up this menu. Now this is, you can start it. You can go into a compatibility mode, which I really don't know what that is. An OEM install. You can test everything. But we're going to boot into what's called the live environment. And we can actually run Linux Mint off the USB drive and use it just as we would a normal computer. You can go to the internet. You can hook up your Wi-Fi, your wired Ethernet. You can hook up USB drives. I mean, you can do everything if you wanted to off your little USB drive. But it also gives us the option to install Linux Mint from here. As you can see, there's the Linux Mint icon, or the little boot symbol. And it only takes just a minute to do this. And my computer's not a burner by any means. I have an i5-8400, which is a 6-core processor, 32 gigs of RAM, an NVMe drive, and a NVIDIA 1080 video card. Nothing to write home about. It's just a good computer. And that's one of the things Windows 11 wants you to have, you know, 14th gen processors and NPUs and all this stuff. They want you to go, and you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to go spend all that money. If you have a good computer that you like using and they're forcing you to upgrade, you can move this route. That's what I'm doing, because I am sick of Microsoft and Apple telling me, oh, you got to upgrade every year or you can't use it. I'm like, man, come on. So here is the Linux Mint desktop. This is what you get on the live environment. And there's your start menu, all your applications. You can hook up your Wi-Fi. You can show your battery levels. You can do anything you want to do off USB. It's very clean, very user-friendly. But in the top left-hand corner, it says Install Linux Mint. Well, we're going to double-click that icon. And we're going to get going. Now, if you had a really fast computer, this wouldn't take long at all. Brings you to the install screen, and I'm going to do English US. And this is real time. So we're going to install the multimedia codecs. This is for all your MP3s, MP4s, AACs, all the stuff. There's a little bit of learning curve with the codecs. That's just the types of video and audio and everything that you use. But we go ahead and install that so we don't have to later. All right. So we can install, we can dual boot, we can do Windows and Linux right here. We can erase and install Linux Mint, or we can manually do it. If you're proficient in partitioning drives, you can do that. We are just going to erase the disk and install Linux Mint. The last time I dual booted, I got a Windows update and it killed my Linux partition. So that's one of the reasons I'm getting sick of Windows. All right, they tell you that all your data is going to be removed, and how the partitioning is. It's ext4 and ESP. We're going to hit go. My time zone, I'm in the New York time zone. I'm not in New York, but that's the time zone in the Eastern U.S. Put my name. Well, name my computer. You can name it whatever you want. Username. Super secret password. Ryan, you probably know what this is. I'm going to tell it to log me in automatically. You can go in and encrypt. You can use encryption on your home folder, where you can create a key and all that stuff. I'm not going to worry about that on this computer. And we're going to get started. This usually takes 7 or 8 minutes on this computer. I've done it several times. Okay, like I said, 7 or 8 minutes. Installation is finished. Now we can continue testing. You can play around with the live environment, or we can go ahead and restart and boot into Linux Mint. So we're going to restart now. And what it's going to do, it's going to say to remove the installation media and hit enter. Right there. Go over here and pull the drive out and hit enter. Now these colored lines are my capture card. That's what it does when it reboots. And hopefully, there's the Linux Mint icon. Or splash screen, whatever you want to call it. So it boots up. The first time it takes a little bit, but it boots up pretty quick. Alright, and it shows that I'm connected to my wired connection. We'll tell it not to show that again. But here is the desktop, and the first time you always get this welcome screen, and it gives you the first steps, it gives you the documentation, you can read about everything. There's all kind of forums that you can go to. We're going to go to the first steps, and I always do this every time, so we'll go to the desktop colors. I like the dark theme. You can change the style, you can play around with that. I like the blue color. If I go to the advanced settings, I hate this pointer, so we're going to take it to that one. The rest of it I like. So we'll close that out. Now the second one is system snapshots. Now if you have a second drive in your computer or a USB drive you can plug in, I'm going to make a video on how to do this. It's very simple, but you can make snapshots of your computer, and if you were to bork something up, you can restore back to an earlier date and time, which is always nice to have. Driver manager. Okay, each piece of hardware that you have in your computer has a driver. It doesn't matter if you're in Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever, you have a driver. I have an NVIDIA video card, and if I launch this, it's going to look for drivers. And I won't change this on today's video, but I'll show you where you can do it. So I have an NVIDIA. It's using the open source driver for the installation, but it's recommending that I use the NVIDIA driver 550, which is one of the latest drivers out. So all you would do is check that little button, hit apply, and it'll go through, it'll install it until you restart. We won't do that today. The update manager, so you're just like you would do in Windows updates, your Mac OS updates, you have Linux updates. So we'll launch that, and it has security updates, software updates, and system snapshots. So you can do all this from here. And if I hit OK, it's telling me that I have 114 updates, 924 megabytes. So we could install the updates, and there's application updates, system updates, the whole bit. Browsers, everything that you need to update right there, one place, boom, we can do it. All right, software manager. Just like your phone and tablet and Windows machine, they have an app store. Well, you have an app store in Linux where you can get all your application updates or applications. So if you use OBS, if you have a video software, audio software, Audacity, VLC, if you work with Blender, if you do 3D animation, Blender works good here. Virtual machines, you got Dropbox, FileZilla. You got different web browsers you can pick from, text editors, office suites, games. You got all kind of stuff that you can pick from. It's all free. You don't have to pay for anything. And that's another thing about Linux. It's free. You don't have to go pay. Now they do have applications that are paid for, professional applications, but for the most part, you don't have to. If you're a developer, if you're a software developer, you can get all kind of IDEs and plugins for different applications here. If you want to use the terminal to install an update, you can, but you don't really have to. One of the newer package managers out, and applications come in what's called package managers. Flatpak, you can get all kind of different applications from here, which is really neat. One of the things about Linux, you can customize it to the nth degree. I mean, you can change everything about it. You can make it look like Windows. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can do it. The firewall, if you don't have a hardware firewall, you can control your firewall from right here. It's a very neat operating system. We can change our background. This is one of the things I do too. You can pick one of the Linux Mint default backgrounds, or you can go to what's the Wilma folder. And Wilma is the edition name, you know, like Windows 11 or Mac OS Sequoia, you have Linux Mint Wilma. I don't know why, but so you can pick through these high quality pictures, or you can add a folder of pictures of your own in there. You can put your own picture in. Let's say I went and got this one. It automatically changes a really high quality picture. You can set up slideshows. You can change to just a color, whatever you want to do. You can customize it. Customize all your fonts. If you need the Microsoft fonts for your Office suite, you can install those. I'll make a video on how to do that. I just like it. It's a very neat operating system. Very cool. And I plan on using it. I don't plan on having Windows on this machine ever again. So unless it's in a virtual machine, if there are applications, if you have to have one for, let's say, a security system or something that you do that's Windows based, you can run it in a virtual machine and on your Linux box, and it works just as good. Learning curve with all that, but like in everything in life, there's a learning curve. So there you have it, Linux Mint 22. You can customize it, you can play with it. If you screw it up, start all over again. I mean, I've shown you how to do it. It doesn't take but just a few minutes, and you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. So there you have it. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to somebody. If you're using Linux Mint or another flavor of Linux, let me know down in the comments and everything. But anyway, I hope you found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to be notified. Appreciate everybody watching the videos, and appreciate all the comments. I try to reply back to all the comments here lately. I've had just a ton of them. But anyway, we got Christmas in 2 days. This is December 23rd, 2024. Hopefully I'll have this video out today or tomorrow. But anyway, hope y'all enjoy it. And like I always say, until the next video, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.